live?
We're live.
Hello? Is it getting...
Papa, can you hear me?
Like a Lionel Richie. Hello? Is
me you're looking for? We should start a band.
I can see it in your eyes. Are you old enough to remember the video? Where it's like...
Yes, well, okay. So, I don't remember that from my childhood, but I remember looking it up later, YouTube video, and it is terrifying in and of itself.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Which maybe is a good segue into what we're going to talk about today.
Are you afraid of hanging out with Lionel Richie?
Well, his head, yeah.
So creepy. The 80s were a creepy decade, though.
They really were.
I mean, think about it. So it kind of matches
from
that.
Michael Jackson's Thriller to...
Did you ever see the movie Fright Night?
No.
What? Oh my God. Okay. Fright Night is the worst movie ever. Well, it is worst top 10.
Okay.
Like cheesy Halloween movie genre. Okay. Worst. But when as a little girl, it scared the shit out of me. I thought my neighbors were vampires. I thought they were I wouldn't go into anybody's house. No shit. Like for at least 2 years after I saw that movie, I was like, I'm not going into that person's house. They could be a vampire.
Oh.
But when you watch it now, you're like, you just laugh. I think it had Jeff Goldblum in it.
Oh, I love him.
And he was the vampire who turned the people into vampires.
So I didn't watch a lot of scary movies when I was younger. Save Poltergeist. For some reason, that was in my lineup between Wizard of Oz and Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, which Moonwalker was pretty scary in and of itself anyway.
I never saw that.
I think I got it with a Happy Meal or something, but I was obsessed with it. I don't think a lot of people even know Michael Jackson had that movie.
No. What was the Joe
Pesci was in it.
What?
Yeah. Joe Pesci was in it. And Michael Jackson was,
no way.
I honestly, I don't even really know the premise of it. I know Joe Pesci was the bad guy, and I'm pretty sure, and then Michael Jackson turns into this robot who ends up getting rid of Joe Pesci.
Oh my God.
But he's there to save these little kids who are obsessed with Michael Jackson, and so of course they work Michael Jackson's songs into it, Smooth Criminal is in it, which was my all-time favorite song.
Well, the video was pretty badass. At the time.
So,
right?
and I think the video is in the movie, and then Bad, that's in it. Yeah, and so I can't even really remember, but I know Michael Jackson turns into this robot that kills Joe Pesci,
I have to look this up.
Yeah, there's spiders in it.
Oh, the spiders would have done me in.
Yeah, but yeah, so the movies that I remember watching as a child on repeat were Wizard of Oz. I mean, as a good Kansas girl,
that movie still freaks me out. And did you know it's super popular in Europe, especially in England? Yeah. Anytime I'm in England, they're like, "Oh, you're from Kansas? Oh, Wizard of Oz." I'm like,
yeah. It's every girl gets a pair of ruby red slippers on their 16th birthday.
And she was at home all the time.
Yeah,
she was safe. Whatever.
And so maybe it was I was obsessed with shoes or something, because between Moonwalker, I always wore my tap shoes and white socks and, pretended I was Michael Jackson too. And then, Wizard of Oz, I had my own ruby red slippers. And then the last movie I remember watching a lot as a child was Poltergeist. But I think it was just because it was on TV a lot.
Oh, they used to
and it was terrifying.
Oh.
And there was no shoe aspect to that one.
No.
It was just terrifying.
It was horrible. Don't want to touch a TV.
Yeah.
Horrible. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Did you ever, on the Wizard of Oz thing, I want to know real quick. I totally digressed. Did you ever see Wicked?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes.
So did you love...
I've seen Wicked a couple of times.
Yeah.
It is one of my all-time favorites.
They're doing a movie. Did you not know?
No.
Mm-hmm. Ariana Grande is in it.
Oh, of course.
The hot guy from Bridgerton is in it.
Okay.
I can't remember who's Elphaba. Can't remember. But yeah, you look it up. It's coming. They're gonna do it too. It's a 2-parter, which I'm not. I can't tell if I'm excited about that being a 2-movie deal.
Okay.
If it should be one, but But so I like
excited.
Wicked. The Wizard of Oz freaked me out. I think it was the whole lollipop song that got me. Anyway.
I don't know. I'm kind of a munchkin myself, so like, I can relate.
I'm like, leave them alone. Why they gotta dance and sing and bring you candy? Let them do whatever they want. It's such a bad comment. I feel like such a bad person. Oh my god. Okay, so we are... I feel like Will Arnett right now. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I ate that fucking habanero pepper and my voice feels like it's 2 octaves like lower. Because the back of my throat...
we have super sexy Allison voice.
Yeah, is that what... Hopefully it translates to super sexy Allison voice. Because that's... I'm like, wow, I have a deep voice today. But it's sitting back there.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
habanero peppers will do that to you.
Especially when you don't know that's what
We'll
you
check
ate.
back tomorrow.
Yeah. So let's see if I get to keep the raspiness or if that has to be like a weekly thing.
Before every podcast, you have to eat a habanero pepper from now on.
God. Talk about pain. Okay. Fear of doing that again.
Fear, yes. Let's talk about fear. Or first, should we do our cards?
Yeah, I cheated this week like you do usually, and I pulled your card. So, do you want to go first?
You go. No, you go first.
I feel like I know the answer to this, but I want everybody else to listen and to your answer. So, what historical time period would you love to live in?
1920s.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. Why?
Besides the fact that women still didn't have rights. So let's get past that part because that's just shitty and, women in history just lose all around. But
that's why we drink when we do
that's
this
why we
podcast.
drink, yes. But from a fashion perspective, from just an emergence of a new cultural boom in general, the suffragettes did really make grounds during that time too. So, a lot of really good feminist things came from the 20s. But I guess from a very shallow perspective, fashion and
So
just
good.
the
It's
party
so good,
atmosphere. Yeah. So 1920s if I was in the elite.
So had money.
Yes, if I had money.
Yeah.
Especially going into the Great Depression. So just the fashion and Great Gatsby.
I love Great Gatsby.
It's a phenomenal book and especially reading it for what it is.
Oh yeah.
And just that the speakeasy and
what do you call it? Old Sport?
Yes.
Old Sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is
I don't know.
my
So I guess
favorites.
1920s East Coast, anywhere on the East Coast.
I'm an East Coast girl.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Victorian age.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I really thought that's where you were headed. You surprised me on that one.
Yeah. No, so as far as architecture, I would definitely go more towards the Victorian era. I like that really romanticized, Victorian architecture, whereas the 1920s is very modern and, it has some cool design work, but it's too contrasting for me.
When did mid-century modern come into play? Was that after?
I think that was the 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm digging that.
Kind of like the space age.
Yeah. Like Jetson-y.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
What about you?
Victorian age.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think the fascinated with Queen Victoria. I'm fascinated with the Industrial Revolution and all of the things that came from that. And then if you start to look at the literature, art, cultural piece during that time.
Okay.
The growth that was made in those categories was fairly substantial. Oscar Wilde came from that. The Bronte sisters came. Hardy came from that. Harding, not Hardy. Tom Hardy's a hot actor. Yeah. Harding, yeah.
He could be ageless in my mind.
Yeah. Vibrators. We talked about that. Vibrators were
okay. From that perspective, the Industrial Revolution perspective, yes. And the art that came from it. I just couldn't do the corsets.
Oh yeah.
I
could.
I don't want to.
I don't know if I'd want to. Yeah.
There's a reason why they had fainting couches.
I know, but the whole premise of, I guess I'm fascinated with women are they're sexual. They're not supposed to be sexual, right? So in the Victorian age, we really talk about women understand that they're sexual. Some of them do. But there's some suppression there. But then there's this group that just sort of comes out and says, no, I have sexual drive. I believe Oscar Wilde went to jail for having sex with a man during that age. Yeah. So he actually spent time behind bars for it. It was a lewd act, which is ridiculous. Yeah. And so when you stop and think about all the moments in that age that have set precedent or that we reference back to now still when we talk about hot topics, I feel like being there, just even like maybe I didn't have to wear a corset. Maybe I was like a time traveler and just hanging out being groovy and watching it. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, Queen Victoria was, I don't know how much you read up on her. Her sex drive was ridiculously large, like to the point where she had a bell on her bedroom door. So the kid, like they had to ring to get in, like, and there was a lock. So people couldn't just walk in because her and her husband Albert had tons of sex. And she would talk about, I mean, they have these children, right? So that was the byproduct of her sex drive was her children. And now her children have infiltrated the royal family on a level that is pretty substantial. The history around that's amazing.
Ooh, that's very interesting.
But she was a very, very sexual woman. And she would say, I don't want my kids here from this time to this time. I'm going to be with my husband, which was very much.
Good for her.
I think so.
All right. I need to read more into Queen Victoria.
Yeah, she's kind of a badass.
Okay.
I'm showing my level of nerd history there.
No, I love it.
Like.
Okay. Would you rather run into an old boyfriend with no makeup on or after gaining 20 pounds? This is dumb.
It's so stupid.
This is so surface. This is what they think like women worry about.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. We're not answering that.
No, you should.
Because.
Stupid.
No.
I would do either.
I don't like that.
My old boyfriend would have seen me without makeup, and if I'm 20 pounds heavier, I'm still fucking hot.
Yes.
There's your answer.
Fuck that. All right.
That's the question you should have asked me.
Okay. Let's.
Because that's the one I wanted you to.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe, okay, we'll cut that out.
No, leave it in.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. Leave that shit in.
Okay. What do you love about men?
Dick. That's a pretty simple answer.
Okay, like
Cock.
dick and okay, there we go. Okay. Because that could have gone another way too. Like you don't know dick. Like you don't know anything. Like so nothing.
Love
so
penis.
You don't love anything about men, but you love penis. Let's make that very clear.
Yes. A lot.
You love penis about men.
Size does matter, baby. And that doesn't mean that small men don't count. It means everybody has a size preference. Right?
That's fair.
Everybody.
That's fair.
I always get so pissed off at that question. Like, of course it matters. Size matters because somebody might like it small, somebody might like it big.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah, no judging.
All right. Yeah, no, I can't top that. So let's.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. On to fear.
I think I should pour more.
Yes, you absolutely.
Jesus. I've had a hell of a day.
Yeah. Drink break.
So fear. Is that where we're headed?
Fear is where we're headed. So.
Can I just say, let everybody know that you are the one that chose the topics for the month of October, which I'm so stoked about.
I love spooky season.
Yeah, this is your season. And so Kelly has complete control over podcast topics this month, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, so we're going along with the Halloween theme, and we'll talk about fear, ghosting.
Mm-hmm. Not in the traditional sense.
I mean in the traditional,
both.
Both. Like we'll stick with the Halloween theme. We'll talk about witches.
I'm excited about that. Did you see the Instagram thing I sent you of one of the original Salem witch houses?
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
Yes. I've actually, so I'm on Etsy quite a bit, mainly looking for art because I like small artists, but, or a small time artist, not physically small. Anyway.
The wine is kicked in, baby.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
But there are some really cool prints of like houses in Salem and whatnot.
Really?
And yeah, my plan is to go to Salem this time next year.
I would go.
Yeah.
We should make that an SL squared trip.
Yeah.
And maybe we could remotely podcast.
Ooh, that would be fun.
That'd be a good time.
Yes, or maybe partner with another podcast, one of the ghost podcasts that I listen to that I'm secretly obsessed with.
Yeah. We'll put that out in the universe so it happens.
Okay.
I love it.
I like it.
Okay. And what else do you got? That's like 3. You have one more?
Well,
Oh, it's kind of pending. Yeah.
The last one will be pending, so we'll keep you on your toes there.
Yeah, a little surprise.
Stay tuned.
Because that could be a big one.
Yes, a Halloween surprise.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
So fear. So, I mean, we all have them. Let's talk about, or let's actually say the definition of what fear actually is.
Define it.
It is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, or a threat. Boom. So, like I said, we all have fears. Anybody that says like, "Oh, I'm fearless," like there's nothing that they're full of shit.
Full of shit.
And
shit meter is like off the chart.
Right. Right. And it doesn't. Yeah.
You
know, it doesn't have to be on like the ghost or goblin scale, but we all have fears, whether they're irrational or not.
And it doesn't make you any less of a person. Right. I think that's why people say I'm not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a fear of looking like you're weak or insecure or, right? Because fear is an emotion.
Yeah. So that's their fear by saying that they're not fearful.
We're getting really deep really quick. Yeah, I think so, right? Because when you passed this topic over and I was like, I'm not really afraid of anything. That was my first reaction. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not afraid of anything. And I was like, I kind of am. I have to like dig in a little deeper. I didn't tell you that, but I was like, what am I talking about? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then...
So do you want to go first and talk about...
Well, do you want to start like small? Or how do you want, like, do you want your small fears to...
Yeah, I can talk about my irrational fears. What I consider irrational.
Oh, and I have some like very trite ones, right? Like that are just, like I told you a few minutes ago, I'm afraid of gray hair.
Yeah.
Like I'm 45, I'll be 46 in December. A lot of my friends have gray hair. And my favorite cousin, who's not too much older than me, maybe 7 years, she's straight up gray, silver, and it's gorgeous. She looks amazing with it, but I think it's the idea of once you have a full head of gray hair, aging it's happening.
It's happening. Ooh.
Yeah, it's happening. Like time continues to move forward, and that's sort of scary, right?
Yeah, we can't stop time, unfortunately. But time is not linear.
True story.
True
story. So, and
on that note,
and I just like dye and stuff from my gray hair, so I'll get over it. But like when I find a gray hair, I'm like motherfucker. In fact, I've gone to my stylist the last 3 times. And I'm like, what's our plan for gray? And she's like, when I find some, we'll talk. And I'm like,
the fact that you're 45 and don't have gray hair yet is pretty impressive. I'm 35, and I find them every day.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you feel the first time? Were you like, oh shit, the first time or no?
Well, the first time I felt like it was kind of like a point of pride. Like, all right.
Oh, you did?
Like,
oh, okay.
Like, all right, I've earned this.
All right.
But it was just a couple and only noticeable to me. And now I feel like, oh, I'm sure the lady who cuts my hair notices a lot more. So
I don't see any sitting across from you, though.
Yeah,
so
it's not pulled back.
Okay.
Yeah. If you really want to get up close and personal, I can show you.
I'm going to go to the drugstore and get that spray. Haven't you seen that ad where you just it can't be healthy for you.
Right. No, of course not. Okay. So I can start.
Yeah, get it. Do it.
So I have a fear of balloons.
No way. Oh God, why?
Well, it stems from when I was little. Like my mom thinks that she can pinpoint it back to when I was like 1.5 years, 2 years old at her cousin's wedding. I went to go pick up a balloon, like, little toddler toddling around, all happy, goes to pick up a balloon, and then it pops right in my face.
No.
And, like, she said, ever since then, like, we couldn't take you to fireworks. Like, so, like, loud popping noises basically, like, scarred me for life.
Really?
Yes. So... fast forward into adulthood, so like kids, think about like going to kids' birthday parties, like terrifying.
Well, yeah.
Because, what kid doesn't have
balloons?
Yeah, balloons. Growing up, we would go, it was like a special treat to go to TGI Fridays for birthdays. And during that time, they would put like the balloons in your hair, however old you were. Uh-huh. And I'd be like, nope, no, thank you. I'm good.
Hard pass.
And
Hard pass.
Yes. But even now, now having kids, that, like, I'm not going to deprive my kids of something that they want because of my fear. So that's very hard. So you go to a fair, you go to, they want,
everywhere.
Yeah, balloons are everywhere. You don't think about it because most people aren't afraid of balloons.
Because it's not no. It's normal.
But, like, anytime my kid gets a hold of a balloon and puts their little fingers on them, like, I immediately, like, I put my hands to my ears, like, I run away, and then people think it's hilarious to taunt me with it.
Which
like,
is so
I
tacky.
forgot that you're afraid of balloons. And I get it. It is ridiculous. I know that it can't hurt me or anything, but it's the loud noise of the end, like, not knowing when it could go off at any time. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of fireworks either. Like, just
I think fireworks are a waste of money.
So,
I'd rather have a handbag. People go, I spent $1,000 on fireworks. Why?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go shopping?
Yes. So, I've come a long way since I was 2, but
so you're okay with the girls having... And, like, can you blow them up and put them around the house?
No, I won't blow them up.
You won't blow them up,
but if they have them...
It's okay.
I can do that.
So, mental note, no balloon bouquets for Kelly.
No.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Because now the big thing is you see all the influencers with all those crazy-ass balloons.
Oh, yeah, no, my children will never have those, like, balloon arches, anything like that.
I think that's a horrific waste of money as well.
Yeah.
Have you seen the prices on those?
No, I haven't. Because it's not even worth it to me to look it up.
Handbag, shoes.
Yeah.
My kid doesn't need that. I don't have a kid, but if I did, they weren't getting that.
No, exactly. So obviously completely irrational, but
is it, like, I think, it's
apparently
it's rational.
There is a term for it. It's called globophobia.
No way. I did not know that. It's called globophobia.
Yes. But yeah.
Did you Google that?
My husband did.
That's awesome. Oh my God. And your siblings don't.
And he still decided to stay with me after finding that out too. So
awesome. Oh my God. Okay. I don't know if I can trump that. That's a good one. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything ridiculous. I used to be deathly afraid of snakes. Like, just the thought of it. Or, you scroll through social media and somebody posts a picture. You see what you found in the backyard? Yeah, fuck me. Yeah. Like, why are you putting that on there and not telling me? I need a disclaimer. Picture of a snake coming up.
Yeah, just like if you get a dick pic, at least send a disclaimer first. Like, hey,
oh my God.
Dick incoming.
As a single lady, though, those guys are getting very creative with dick pics. A friend of mine got one a year and a half ago. At Brewtop here. We live in Overland Park, for those who are not in Kansas. Because our audience isn't. They're not in Kansas, which makes me kind of happy. I mean, I love my Kansas people, but I love we've got, like, people on the coast. So there's a bar, and it's not anything special, but we're sitting there, and this guy behind us sends her a picture of a guitar pick with the word dick on it. And that was his dick pic. That was his pickup line. It was like, you gotta give him credit. I mean,
that's kind of cute, though.
Slightly creative. I mean, he really, like, I don't know how many women he's done that to, so okay. She couldn't have been the first, but it was pretty creative.
I mean, I will give points to creativity 100% of the time.
Putting some effort in.
Yeah.
Right? You're just not, like, putting your phone down your pants. But maybe I am afraid of that. That's, like, the worst thing on dating apps. Is he going to text me, or am I getting a dick pic? 50-50 shot.
I mean, just the mentality behind that. I don't understand. Men, if you are listening, please don't send us dick pics. But we want to know what is your thought process behind that. Like, ooh, she wants a dick pic. And, like, physically, like, pulling down your pants, taking out your camera on your phone, and snapping that. Like, it's a lot of emotions to go through to send something like that.
It so is. And sometimes you get them hard, and sometimes you don't get them hard. So
so, like, the extra effort that goes into that, too.
I mean, I'm going to judge the entire scenario.
Yeah.
How much do you really want to show me? Is this because do you think showing me your dick is going to make me want to text you and take my clothes off for you?
Yeah.
I guess he is a 50-50 shot. Right?
That's true, but I would like to know,
yeah,
what his success rate is.
Oh, yeah, I want the statistics on that. That's an interesting segue, because as I have more wine, I'll probably open up a little bit more. I am deathly afraid of dating. In fact, we don't even call it dating. My little cousin, should I name her? I love her. She's like Megan. I'll give props to Megan. She knows I do not enjoy date. I don't know the word. Like, my energy is just off when I say dating. You probably see me, like, my body language is different. She's like, Allison, why don't you just call it a rendezvous? The French call it a rendezvous. You're just going out to have a little fun. It's not a date. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to even meet new people. Like, that's the thing is I have so many amazing people in my life. Like, the energy it takes to go meet a new person, especially like on a rendezvous, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I have a fear of, like, because I have walked out on dates before. Like, I've literally been sitting at a bar with somebody and been like, no, thank you. Check, please. Thank you, but goodbye.
Thank you, but no thank you.
I've been that girl, yeah. And I don't like being that girl, so I think maybe that's the fear.
Like, you know what you want, and you know what you want to spend your time on, and what you don't.
True.
So why waste your time? True. You don't do it in business, why do it in your personal life? Your time is valuable.
It's so true. Yeah, it's so true. And maybe it's not the fear of dating, it's the fear of disappointment. Because the disappointment in that arena versus the disappointment in business, like, I'm very rarely disappointed professionally.
Yeah.
I am disappointed quite often in the dating rendezvous arena.
I mean, I do like calling it a rendezvous.
I do too.
Versus dating.
I know.
The French do it right.
They do. Because there's no, like, you don't have to stress. I'm going to go rendezvous. Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to go drink, have a little fun, leave. We put so much pressure on that dating.
That's true.
Yeah. So I think the fear comes from being internally competitive to, oh, I'm going to fail at this again. I'm going to fail at that again. And it's really not that, right? So, I don't know. What else you got for me? Halloween queen. That's what I'm calling you.
Ooh, I like that.
Halloween queen. Which we are drinking out of our...
I know, our skeleton glasses.
What other levels of fear? What else?
So, okay, since we are into spooky season, like, do you have any true Halloween-esque fears? You know, like,
I've always been afraid of the dark, but I kind of overcame that.
Yeah.
Maybe in the last couple of years. Yeah.
I mean, that's big.
Yeah, I've always been afraid of the dark, and I can't even tell you why. Like, you could pinpoint the balloon.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pinpoint being afraid of it. Maybe, yeah, I can't tell you when it started or why it happened. I made a conscious decision to just get over it 2 years ago, because I had these crazy ass TVs. I don't know if you guys, if anybody had this, but Vizio TVs had like this glitch. And the TVs that I had in my bedroom and in my living room would just pop on. So kind of going back to Poltergeist. So at 2 a.m, I mean, I live alone with my dog. Mm-hmm. And Sasha could give a shit. Nothing really bothers her. So it would just pop on. Just turn itself on. And so whatever I was watching or however the volume level was, it always felt louder at like 3 a.m. when it would come on. And I would have to be like, I remember sitting straight up in bed one night and I was like, shit, like, how did that come on? And, you know, the scaredy cat in me was like, I have ghosts. What kind of spirits do I have, right? Yeah. Got the sage out. I was like, fucking
That's only natural response to that.
Oh my God. Walking around the place with the sage. Like, get out. And then it kept happening and I was like, all right, I know the sage worked. Like, what the fuck? And so I finally got on the Vizio website and it was like, oh, we've had problems with these televisions. And I'm like, there's a logical explanation.
So the whole line is haunted.
The whole line is haunted. And so in my head, I was like, okay, if you can get over this, being afraid of the dark is slightly ridiculous. And so I just kind of talked myself out of it, I guess. But even as a child, I had night lights, I had bathroom, yeah. And being married, it wasn't as big of a deal, but when I was newly divorced, like, my electric bill would be so high because I'd leave online.
No, I think that is a very common thing, because, like, I was the same way. Like, I always needed a light on. I still do to a certain degree, but, like, I think living in an old house has definitely, as far as, like, ghosts and, like, darkness and whatever else, like, it's cured a lot of that.
Yeah.
Because I've realized, like, living in an old house isn't as scary as I thought it was going to be.
Well, and here's the part too of that. Do I want to actually see if there's a ghost and I'm going to see it? Do I want to see it or do I not want to see it?
Right.
I probably don't want to see it, so let's just keep things dark.
That's fair.
Because what if it's like grotesque?
That's true. See, I always think that like Casper's gonna come visit me.
I don't think
so like I'm here for that.
Yeah, I don't know if Casper's
especially was that Devin Seawall? Like he can come visit me anytime. My '90s crush. Like.
Well, but didn't Casper sit on the couch and eat popcorn with you? I think that was like part of his friendly, because he was Casper the friendly ghost.
Friendly ghost, yeah.
I'm imagining I'm not gonna get that. I'm getting somebody with like an axe in their head or who's
like some sort of like demonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not here for that. No. Friendly ghosts only.
Part of me is like when you watch those shows on Discover and they're like, this house is a portal to hell. I'm like, why are you there?
I know. Yeah. Why? Why?
Burn it.
Like, yeah, burn it.
Lock it up. Nobody gives a shit.
Like hell likes anyway.
Right? I don't understand.
Right. Well, so there was a place in Lawrence, or outside of Lawrence, was supposedly one of the 7 gates of hell.
Well, fucking what's the show with the hot guys? Remember? Oh god, it's on Netflix. My cousin Marley fucking loves the show. What is it? It's the 2 hot guys. Supernatural.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, they start in Lawrence. If this what you're talking about.
Seriously. Okay, I'm gonna watch that just for this, because like I went there in high school, and like because it's in this cemetery. It's supposed to be like a crypt or something. I don't even know the entire story, but I remember going there in high school with some guy friends because I was cool and like pretending to be like one of the guys. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have a crush on any of them. I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm down for an adventure.
Badass.
And yeah, it's in this cemetery, and it's in this middle of the cemetery, and like the story goes that like, you know, it never rains over this, like, so you can stand in the middle of this like crypt, and it can be pouring down rain, but it's not raining on you because it doesn't have a roof, and there's stairs that go down, but like they just go on forever. Like you can go down and think that you're down there for just like 15 minutes and then come back up and you've been missing for like days. Just some obviously creepy like shit. all this creepy stuff that, you know, just lore and I don't know what it's called, but
it's easy to buy in.
Yeah,
like at that age too.
Exactly, yeah. Especially in high school and like especially teenage boys like wanting to appear tough and whatnot. So we drove out. It was in October and at night. But yeah, no, the cemetery was locked off because they had just too many kids like us trying to go in. But you can't but you can see what they were talking about. And it is creepy because it is like, you know, falling down, a structure that's falling down that clearly wasn't kept up with and
that's
whatnot.
Like Sour Castle. Have you ever been to Sour Castle?
Yes. I read about it.
Somebody just bought it.
So my friend's family, like, or I guess his in-laws, like someone in his in-laws family, like just bought that house too, because like he wanted us to do a wine tasting event there, or like work that in somehow, and I'm like, yep, I'll do it, I'm there.
The story, have you ever looked into the history of that place?
So yes, I have, because it like a guy built it, didn't like some German guy build it, and like and then his like wife died, like all of his kids started dying, like
committing suicide, and then they haunt like, so even if you're on property now, we should do that. We should podcast. We should do a live, or not a live, but like a you know, on site. We should go there and record, because you can sit on the street and you'll see the orb lights. It's creepy as shit. I remember taking my nephews there when I was still married, and Kale was a little dude, and he was like, oh my god, I see it. And I mean, it was the street light, but
still. But hey, I'm here for the spookiness, even if it is just like, I love that type of adventure.
Do you believe?
I 100% believe in ghosts.
I do too.
Like, my husband thinks I'm nuts.
Yeah, I believe.
Like, he doesn't believe at all. I'm like, well, riddle me this. How are there so many shows and people having all these experiences and
I know
it not be a real thing? And plus just other random things that like I've heard from people. Like, I haven't had any crazy experiences, especially people always talk about this feeling like I'm being watched.
Yeah.
I haven't had anything like that happen, but I had, so a really good family friend of mine, I guess the family, like, grew up with this family. Well, one of their daughters, who is my age, died when we were 15 from brain cancer.
Oh my.
It's a horrible, horrible, like, situation, disease. Like, she was super positive through the whole thing, as anybody could be, and unfortunately lost her battle. And she had a little brother who was about 4 at the time. And, the sad thing about that is, like, he's not going to remember a time, basically, when she was alive. Like, from his own memory, he's going to remember stories, of course, because, of course, that's going to live on. But soon after she died, he was in the house playing, and they came and told him, like, hey, it's time for dinner. And he's like, I don't want dinner. And they're like, no, you need to come down to eat. He's like, no, I don't like what we're having. And they're like, how do you know what we're having? He's like, oh, because MB told me. My sister told me. And they're like, okay, well, what are we having? And he told them exactly what they were having for dinner. He's like, I don't like that. He's like, I'm going to stay up here and play with my sister.
Hard pass.
Yeah. Like, how, things like that. Like, and I feel like kids are definitely very open to that because they don't know any better. Same with animals.
Well, we, like, close off as
exactly.
adults, right?
And I feel like I've always been very, very open to the idea of that, like, just spiritualness and, like, energy does go on. Like, energy cannot be destroyed. It is just...
We are made up of energy. That's science.
So,
that's
that's physics. Like, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred or... I'm not a scientist, but I know there's some theory that it's like it cannot be destroyed or whatever. It can
if somebody wants to explain it, pop it in the comments.
Yes.
Because we know what we're talking about, but we've had too much wine to actually articulate it. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, I am very much a believer, even though I have not had any, like, scary experiences necessarily.
So I haven't had scary, but I did tell you about when I saw our medium that we both know, Stephanie.
Yeah.
But I told you about the story about my mom, right?
I don't think you did.
No? So my mom died, she died when I was almost 3 in a car wreck. And when I was 18, I got, like, this wild notion that I wanted to send flowers to her grave. She's buried in this little podunk cemetery outside of Dallas. It's, like, ridiculous. It's like something you'd see in a horror movie. It is. It's, like, ancient. And she's buried next to my grandfather, who died before I was born. So I would send yellow roses. And there's literally no way that our medium would have known that. Nobody else knows this. So I would send yellow roses, and I would, instead of having them put on each side of the grave, I would have them on top.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the wind blows, it would just blow the roses, which is fine. Like, that's what I wanted. I wanted them to be scattered. I wanted them to be on top of Mom. So my first meeting with the medium, I was like, I believe, and I just, what you said, I don't really have proof, but I'm open to believing, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So she's like, your mom's here, and we're talking, and she goes, she wants to thank you for the yellow roses. She wakes up every morning, and she enjoys those, and she loves that you spread them over her. So when she wakes up, she immediately smells them, and they are part of her day. Fucking have the audio of this. Like, we could...
Oh, my God.
And there's the way that nobody would know. Like, I ordered these flowers from a little small-town florist in Paola, Kansas, that is not even in business anymore, in, like, 1996. I did this for a whole year. In 1996, I would have them do that every month. And it got to be kind of expensive, and I wasn't sure if it was really, I should be doing it. So when I'm having this appointment with her, which was maybe 2 years ago, I'm at this point sobbing. I'm like, what did you say? There's literally nobody on the planet who would know that. And so I was like, I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
Yes.
And, who knows how that energy transfers. But
so I feel like that goes back to time is not linear.
Right. It does. It totally does. And the other circumstance with her was my Uncle Dave. My Uncle Dave loved to fish, and he had a dog named Benny. And there's no way she would have known this. Uncle Dave died way before Facebook was a thing. And she was like, your uncle wants you to know he's happy. He wakes up every day. He fishes. Him and Benny go out. And he's like, he knows that the pond's stocked because he catches a big fish every day, but it still makes him happy.
Oh, my God.
And I mean, at this point, sobbing. So I do believe.
Yeah.
But I don't know if everybody has the capacity to believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have to be careful who you share those things with.
Well, but I think it does go back to a little bit of fear, too. Not saying that anybody that doesn't believe is just fearful of that. I think there's science that people go back to, also different faiths, whatever. But
it's the unknown.
It's the unknown,
Unknown. Yeah.
And I think, so, yeah, there's a lot of fear in the unknown.
Yeah, because I really do think what you don't know is what you don't know.
Yeah.
So you can choose to embrace that and take it as it's presented, or you can be afraid of it and just not deal.
Yeah, I'd rather just go for it.
Well, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Get sucked into a TV.
I mean, because we all end up in the same place anyway, right?
Right. And I kind of like the idea of haunting somebody.
I know.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I am that.
I'm going to come back and haunt the shit out of everybody I know.
Oh, good God. If you've wronged me, get ready.
Well, yeah, so there's that. But, like, also, I'm just going to come back and haunt, like, and
just mess with
fuck
your
with
kids.
them, yeah.
You're just going to show up in your kids.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Be like, Mom, you got to stop doing this.
Which I think is phenomenal. But yeah, so yeah, it does come back to fear. We are afraid of what we don't know.
Yeah. And now it's time for Confession or Obsession.
My confession, I ate a habanero pepper today and didn't mean to. And now I sound like Will Arnett.
But, I mean, there's a lot worse people you could sound like.
God. The back of my throat hurts so bad. Like, I don't eat spicy food. So the fact that I just popped that in without any thought, I don't know what it is. Is it fucking amazing? Is it ludicrous? I don't know. But I was like, oh, this is like the pepper on the Pizza Hut buffet that you ate when you were little.
Yeah.
Let me have that with my tuna salad. And like... stop breathing for like a half a second.
Yeah.
Almost.
No, that was terrifying.
The look on my face that scared the shit out of you. It's like, I'm dying. I'm dying.
Well, I didn't realize it. I thought you were just eating a pickle.
It hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. Like I've never had my nostrils and my eyes and my sinuses and my throat and my tongue and then my lips. I was like, I don't know how to stop this. So I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
Ever. Even though we looked up the health benefits and they're pretty substantial, pass.
Yeah.
Like, who knew a habanero pepper could, like, raise your metabolism and prevent cancer and control, what is it, fucking blood pressure or something? I don't know.
Well, you did your body a favor,
Cool.
unknowingly.
When that comes out the other end, that's going to be astronomical. I don't know what's going to happen. That's my confession. Today's going to be brutal, guys.
Oh, gosh. I don't even know.
Yeah, how do you deal with that? Where are you going?
I know. I can't even top that.
Oops.
I guess maybe I should do an obsession.
Do it.
Then, I mean, I'm obsessed with Halloween. I have an old Victorian house, and so I definitely I'm not the cutesy Halloween, like, oh, we have ghost pictures and, or little statues and, witch feet coming out of my planters in front. Like, no, I go full on. This is a haunted fucking house.
You're X-rated too, baby. You got the naked Victoria. What was that? You sent me that on Saturday. I was like, what is this picture? I kind of want one.
Well, no, I want that just like for everyday decor. Like the old French, erotic pictures. Like I want a big old photo of, 1920s naked French woman.
Yeah, where the hell did you find that?
Pinterest.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
But yeah, no, I go straight up like...
You're legit.
Every room is a different theme and not cutesy. Not like, 28 days until Halloween. It's like, nope, we are doing spells and potions and you walk in here, you are going to be haunted for life, bitch.
Awesome. I love everything about that. I love everything. Like, because if you ever look at you, you do not look like the person who would be like full badass Halloween. Like, you just don't.
Yeah,
You're like,
I'm not like, I'm
which
not,
makes it even better.
I'm not like Wiccan or anything like that. I love all the stories that are associated with Halloween. I I like the spookiness of it.
Well, you don't look like Wednesday from the...
I know.
Like, you don't have the long black hair and the pale skin. You're not morbid. You're very positive. I'm way more bitter than you are. But you're like, we were doing Halloween.
Yeah, no.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. I want to haunt the shit out of you. And I have a 7 and 4-year-old, and they're really into Halloween too. Like my 7-year-old, she goes, "Mom, I don't think this is creepy enough." I'm like, "You're right.
Get in there.
Let's redo it. We're gonna start from scratch."
Proud moment. You're like, "You're right, baby. I did not. It's not creepy enough."
Yeah.
I'm so proud right now.
So yeah, that's my obsession.
That's awesome. I'm excited for Halloween season.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this might actually be better than Christmas season.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of have the content calendar planned and what we're doing, but I feel like October is going to be pretty prime time.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys will just have to join us to make sure you agree.
Yeah. Join us next time for ghosts and goblins, or ghosting and goblins. I don't know. Whatever.
Who knows what's coming out? We don't know. We were recording and we'll put it in some sort of order.
Yeah.
Did you remember Elvira?
Oh yeah.
Was she like your...
Yeah, so, well, I think maybe that's what I was that one year. Because I had the long black wig.
Yeah.
And everything.
Were your boobs like at your chin?
Well, no, I was in 3rd grade, so it was pre-boobs.
Well,
but maybe I'll be Elvira this year. I like that.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should tell her in the comments to do it. Do it. I'm going to comment. You're going to see all my different...
Okay, well, stay tuned for my
your
Halloween costume reveal.
I love it. All right. Wrap. It's a wrap, baby.
It's a wrap.